We'll call the meeting to order Tuesday, December 5th at 9, probably 9:07 or something like that. We will go in executive session at the end of the regular meeting for KRS 61.8101C, discussions of proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of a public agency. And it's mainly for information, there won't be no action on that, so. Pledge allegiance. Yeah, if you will lead us in that. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dad, I'm going to lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we come before you this day to give you thanks and praise. We are grateful for this holiday season and the Christmas season. We celebrate the birth of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. We ask for your blessings on the decisions made here today and pray that everyone has safe travel home. We ask this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Are we hot over there?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, we can hear you good too.
All the best for you.
That's good. Thank you.
We don't have any, I don't have any community showcase or achievements today. I do want to make sure the public's aware of that, if there's any groups out there or schools or clubs, or make sure everybody's aware, they can contact my office and they want to talk about what they do in the community, and so they can let us know and I can put them on the agenda anytime. I think it's very important. We've had a lot of people in this year to do that. Approval of the minutes, special meeting, and that's November 17th meeting and November 21st regular meeting.
We do those together, or we need a separate motion for each one?
If there's no one in opposition, you can do them both together, but if there is, you need to do them separate.
I didn't note any corrections. I'll make the motion we approve both sets of meeting minutes. I'll second that.
Motion by Jeff, second by John. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry, MT, you too slow.
He does have a little bit of a delay, so we need to give him a
I
second.
gotta do that.
He always did though.
Bills, transfers. Put that in your packet. Additional bills Rhonda sent out yesterday, I think. Rhonda, is that right?
Correct. I emailed them and with the hard copy.
Because you had Hinkle Construction on the landfill.
Yeah, I had a few landfill bills there that were turned in, and then just a couple later invoices.
Got both health department appropriations, 1 and 2.
We got some tax money in, so generally we get that money, we go ahead and pay the first two appropriations to Lincoln Trail, about $500,000.
That's 2024, correct?
Yes. We'll have, there's 4 total payments that we make through the year, so that's half of our allocation.
One thing I'm going to tell the public, I'm going to start leaving these deals. And actually, I'll leave the minutes up here if anybody wants to look at this stuff after the meeting. All this is public record anyway. Kind of let everybody know in the public and the media that we have to pay the health department about $1 million a year.
Correct.
Almost 1.1. By state law, there's what is the percentage rate? I forget the exact rate.
1.8%
Of the total
our
budget.
profit, of our tax valuations,
Valuation.
real estate and property tax.
Regardless of what they spend or need to spend?
It's mandated by this, it's a mandated appropriation at this point. So
It's not by population, it's by
it's
the tax dollars.
tax valuation, yes.
And we don't have a health department tax. Every other county in the Lincoln Trail Health District, and there's, what is there, 8 or 7 in there? 8, I think there's 8 counties total. And every other county, except for Nelson County, has a health department tax. We're the only county that has to write a check for $1 million out of our regular revenue to support that health department. So I want everybody to know it's public knowledge, so they can know
But I mean, it's
that.
coming from the taxpayers, regardless of which way it comes.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I make a motion, we approve the bills and transfers as presented.
Motion by Jeff,
I'll second.
second by MT. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. So I will leave that up there just for people if they want to glance to it anytime. We want to be transparent about everything we do. Public comment. Carrie, you still on? Where'd Carrie go? Carrie Monday. Off? Yeah. Okay. You was on and off. Rhonda, Treasurer's Report.
I submitted a budget amendment for current fiscal year, it's the first one for this year. I gave it to you guys a couple weeks ago. The only change that I made was I increased the amount of insurance proceeds that we've received so far this year. That was the only change from the draft I gave you a couple of weeks ago. So we just a reminder, we just have to do a budget amendment whenever we have new revenue that comes into the budget that we anticipate that we may spend at some point during the fiscal year. So before we can spend that new money, we have to do a budget amendment. And that's what, should cover the first half of this fiscal year.
I'll make the motion that we approve the budget amendment.
A motion by John,
Second.
second by Keith. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? MT, you say in favor?
Yes.
Motion carries. Well, let's go to the grants department. I mean, Brad's report. Brad Metcalf. We're going to table the first reading on this code enforcement ordinance because I had some questions and I'm not exactly ready yet. We've got to have 2 readings on that. That's going to be for the expanded jurisdiction, which we can do the industrial warehouses and commercial. We've already got authority to do any new schools or additions. So anyway, we'll have that. I'll have that ready for the next meeting for sure. Just a few more questions I had in there.
Are we on the deadline on that, Judge?
19th, so we checked with them this morning, so we're good. We can do it at our next meeting and get it.
As far as getting it advertised and all that too?
Yes, sir. I will be sending that out to you all probably at the end of this week. My suggestions and some of the things that I would like to eliminate as far as inspections in the county. And that way we can discuss them or talk about it, and you can talk to whoever you want to talk about it in the public and get their opinions on it. And we'll have a vote on it at the next meeting. That's what my goal is. I've got some ideas what I want to do, but I want to make sure everybody else has got their ideas in there also, so try to be transparent on it. Brad, you got any questions on that? Or?
Well, I was just going to say for the magistrates, and I think they gave them to the media as well, there's a little explanation of how the fees are generated, which ones are state fees, which ones are local fees, which ones we have approval over. So you should have that handed out to you this morning. This helps explain it a little bit better.
Well, it's not as much, in my opinion, it's not as much as the fees. When I studied it, I don't think we should be doing inspections just to create fees. I don't think that's the purpose of the fiscal court. I think our job is to make it as user-friendly as possible in the public and not as mandating, I should say, on a lot of what I call simple inspections.
Things that are not necessarily a safety issue.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real clear, because I know, Jim, I know you're gonna get it right, you, and that, but I'm gonna be real clear that I'm not wanting to eliminate home inspections. But when I was a master, I actually pushed for home inspections.
Right.
Commercial inspections, industrial inspections, school inspections are all mandated by state law. So I'm not against home inspections, but I am against a lot of these other inspections that they interfere with your private life, that you can't hardly do anything on your property, as such as outbuildings and things like that. So,
Lean-tos.
yeah,
Yeah, utility sheds, you buy at Lowe's.
yeah. I've talked about that a lot last year, the last couple of years. And so I will be bringing it to you, then I don't I want you to get out. I'm gonna ask you guys to get out and talk to your constituents and get their feelings on it and bring it back so we can vote on it. If there's we can just have a good discussion on it. So that's where I'm at. Anybody got any questions? We'll talk about it today.
Well, I got one. This one you handed this morning, is that an increase in the fee of inspection?
No, that's, what we did was, we had a fee structure, then when we, I guess, back when they first started the expanded jurisdiction, instead of combining them together, they created a separate new ordinance that had just the expanded jurisdiction in it. So we just combined those two. So those fees are what they are now. We voted on that 2 or 3 months ago. None of that's changed. That's just all combining everything together into one.
Let's get real clear on the expanded jurisdiction so the public know this. Around 5 or 6, what year do we, I see Johnny was over there. 97, in that range, we adopted a home inspection program. And had a little bit of opposition back in the day. Not too bad, but everybody seemed to grasp it and endorse it. And it made it fair to the public, making sure there's good quality homes built. And it was fair to the contractors because everybody had under the same playing field, basically. I don't know when it happened, about a year or so after that. Of course, again, I just, I was a magistrate, it's all public record. Somebody, exactly who, proposed to adopt expanded jurisdiction. And I strongly opposed it because it was starting to do all the inspections on the outhouses and the tents and outbuildings and anything's over 200 square feet. Now, going back to that, it depends on everybody's opinion. So you can adopt some of it, you can adopt not all of it. So at that time they adopted it all and I voted against it. And I fought it for years. Expanded jurisdiction does give us authority to do the commercial, industrial, and that does help the fees because the fees will go to the state instead of local. Brian, am I saying that correct? Keep it local. The money will stay here, which helps us, just like the warehouses, for example. But we have found out, and I think pretty clearly, that there's a lot of things you do locally under that order that we can adjust, change, adopt, or get rid of. So that's what I'm trying to do. So the expanded jurisdiction, just let the public know what that means, So there's a lot of things in this total, like everything you do when you adopt something, you have to take the good and the bad sometimes. But I think we can get rid of some of the bad that I don't want in this one. So I'll find out when I present it to you.
Brad, who put this together?
I did.
So on the page that has electrical permit and inspection fee schedule, I think there's a decimal missing.
That was my important there.
All right, so where it says multi-family more than 3 units, it says $4,900. And on the other one, the copy here, it's got $411 plus $49 each additional unit. So I wonder if that's something.
$49 per unit.
It's $49.
But it says 4,900,
So
so.
we're trying to get that around you a
We
little bit.
correct that.
Yeah, okay.
We need the revenue, see?
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, the electrical, as everybody knows, electrical inspections and plumbing inspections are mandated by state law, period. I mean, it's just, that's, you know, we can't adjust that.
Do you see where it's at?
Yes. Actually, this came from Logan's office, so it's the one they've been operating under for 20 years.
But does that look correct?
I'll correct it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll clean it all up. Any more discussion on that subject? If not, we're gonna go to the first reading of the new ethics ordinance, and we'll get into that. If you remember back earlier in the year, or sometime a while back, we restructured that a little bit. It was kind of left sort of undone in the last few years about who had to sign it and who didn't have to sign it and all that. So we cleaned it up and we went back. Fairfield was already with us. New Haven and Bloomfield had their own. They've contacted me and asked to be included in ours, which I think it really should be. I suggested that back then. But now we're going to have it under total county, all the cities under one ethics ordinance. And the biggest, I guess, only change would be in there that I think the Fiscal Court county judge gets 2 appointments, and then the city of Barson gets 2 versus 1 just because of the population. Is that correct, Brad?
Currently 2, it's going to move to 3.
It's currently 2.
We get 3. Okay, we get an additional.
And the
Okay,
city of Barstow gets an additional.
yeah. So, Brad, you want to dig into that a little bit here?
Sure. Most of the language that you see in the actual ordinance is just language to incorporate bringing the additional 2 cities in. You'll see that throughout the whole thing. And I gave you just a little summary sheet. It's going to move the county from 2 members to 3 members, Bardstown from 2 members to 3 members, then Bloomfield, Fairfield, and New Haven will have 1 member each. It keeps it at an odd number at 9, which is what you usually want to have for any committee that you form, so that you don't have a tie. So there'll be 9 new members in the new committee, which increases the quorum to 5 members, and then also increases the political party affiliation to 5, so that no one political party could have more than 5 members of the committee. Currently, it's at 3 for a 5-person committee, so we increase that. We added language to inform the judge executive or the mayor of that particular city if one of their employees or an appointee is is subject to an ethics complaint. That way that if it at least alerts them, and if they want to, it puts them on notice, and if they, need to take any appropriate action depending on what the complaint was. And then it deleted the original emergency clause from the original 95 version. Some things never change. Apparently everybody in December of 1995 figured out that they needed to pass it before the end of the year, so they put an emergency clause in it, so we just deleted that. We didn't need it. So, I mean, there's other small changes in there that are mostly language, and if anybody has any questions.
Chip, you review this?
I have. I mean, we're basically just adding 2 cities, like you said, increasing those numbers that come through. My understanding, and I'm not sure, is that all the cities have approved of this version?
No, we're doing it first, and then they will do each one, then we'll all do an interlocal agreement that makes it all, in the end, it'll take a little bit to finish it out.
Nothing's changed in it since what you sent us in the email?
They've contacted me, and then we've talked to them. They're in favor of it, but somebody's got to take the lead on it, basically, and we'll be the first one to do it. And they're all in agreement, that, to my knowledge.
Yes, if we have to make any small changes, we can do that later.
In the second, it's got to be 2 readings?
Yes.
So if there are any small changes, we can do it at the second reading. If they catch something on their end.
I make the motion to approve the ethics ordinance on the first reading.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Jeff. Any more discussion?
Well, one quick
Go ahead.
question. Who is the custodian of the record?
City clerk.
City still?
City of Ballstown's clerk.
It doesn't have to be, that's just, that's who's done it forever.
Yeah. We thought about putting that on the district court magistrate, but
Fourth's more knowledgeable.
I don't know, I just think I gotta fill out like 3 of them for committees and stuff.
So the 3 county members, will they be your designee or our designee? The court.
I'll recommend them and you have to vote on them. Right. So I got a motion by John, second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I wouldn't expect to see that, Adam, for a couple months, because this is going to take a while to get it through their cycle of meetings to get it all done. So,
Jailer's report, Justin.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Currently, we have 141 inmates at Nelson County Correctional Center. 36 of those are state. Next week, I look for that because the sentencing paperwork coming in will be over 40, in the mid 40 ranges for state inmates by this time next week. We have 103 county inmates. That's went up by about 20 inmates over the last 2 months. State revenue per day is $1,279.44. Monthly estimate $38,282.20. We have 57 currently waiting through circuit court, 31 waiting through district court. Recidivism rate 78.15%. Average length of stay 91 days. Felony length of stay 122 days, and misdemeanor 51 days. We're overpopulated as a whole at 38.23%, male population 22.34%, and overpopulated on females 225%. This is based, I have not got November's numbers done yet for the inmate work program, so we're at 17,347 with a total labor savings of $20 an hour, $346,940. We had another handgun that was located down in Balltown. This makes number 2 in the last month that was recovered, sent to the sheriff's department. So nobody got hurt. Inmates did what they were supposed to do again. So
Is it like found in the ditch when they're picking
it
up
was
garbage?
found actually where kids get picked up by a school bus, actually, down there towards Balltown. So we was able to.
Was it loaded?
The magazine had rounds in it, yes. So I'd say it was loaded. So that was a crisis avoided there. Just to let y'all know, next meeting, I'll probably be coming to y'all. I got another grant approval remember we did the grant for the video arraignment software?
Yeah.
I got another grant approval for video arraignment software that actually ties into all the courts and all the jails. So that way we can pull up at a glance any inmate that we have in our jail that has court in another county. The county will have to pay it first, and then the Department of Local Government will reimburse the fiscal court. That's about $41,000, how much this software suite costs. But we'll get reimbursed for it, but I just want to give everybody a heads up on that.
100% reimbursement?
100% reimbursement, yeah.
That's good.
And one last thing, also on the work program, we had to pause this week due to some issues with a couple inmates and investigation we got going on. It should be firing back up Thursday this week. And that's all I got.
Any questions for Justin? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you all.
Keep up the good work. Sean here. Sean, you'll give your report, please.
No report today.
You don't have any report?
No.
EMS, Michael?
I'll do the standard EMS report at the next meeting, but I did, since John brought it up before the meeting, we did just put in place the ambulance that we bought from Pennsylvania a few months ago. It was inspected and is now in service. But other than that, I'll give a further report next meeting.
That's the one y'all went and picked up?
No, that was the one that we got in Pennsylvania a couple months ago.
And it was the first red truck to be painted.
With the second one will be in service probably by mid-January.
All right, now where's that put us at on ambulances then? You still got one in Tennessee, is that one pulled back?
Oh, we got that one too.
It's actually at the shop in Lawrenceburg being striped.
Okay. So when this gets done by January, you'll have everything in pretty good shape on, until we get in our next budget cycle.
It'll be back to 10 full trucks and 2 reserves.
2 reserves.
1 reserve.
Anybody got any questions for Michael? And then the boxes, that all's gonna be to get those boxes we approved,
Safes, yeah.
safes.
They, last I heard, they were scheduled to be shipped on the 6th. So tomorrow.
Okay.
Haven't heard any different.
You get Joey's report?
I do.
Joey's Pruitt. He's having, his dad's not been doing very well, just so everybody know. Think about him and his family. And so, Brad, go ahead.
At the last week's fire chiefs meeting, we brought in the sheriff and the Bardstown Police Department as well. We met with the National Guard 41st Civil Service Team. They are a hazmat, confined space, water rescue resource that we can use if the emergency at the local level exceeds our capacity, then we can reach out to them. They can come in and help us with that. Later today, Joe and I are meeting with representatives from the R.J. Corman Railroad. They wanted to kind of update their emergency plans or emergency evacuation plans for the dinner train. They hadn't done that in a long time. So we're going to just figure out where the access points are along the railway and how we would get patients off of railroad cars and into the ambulances. The last thing is also we're looking at reforming a search and rescue team for the county. We haven't had one for quite a while. So we're looking at trying to take representatives from every agency around the county, put them together as a trained basic search and rescue team. So it'll be sometime next year, but this is something that we're working on. That's all I have, Judge.
Anybody got any questions for Brad? Brad Spalding, you get into recreation?
No, park's basically shut down, so no report.
Road department report?
Okay, so for asphalt patching, we've done several sections on Keith Knob, MT, that we had some questions on down there, and they did need it. Today, we're out off of Bloomfield Road, John, in a subdivision down there, trying to fix some dig outs. We're trying to finish up our patching for the year. Mago's going to shut down here pretty soon. Trees, Simpson Creek, we're taking care of. Keith, we had one on Icetown Road we had to deal with Saturday. I think you called that one in, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
All right. Icetown Road 490, we had to redo a ditch. Cross drain at Joe Nally, McCubbin's Lane to widen the entrance. MT, that was requested by a farmer down there, and it did need to be widened. Hopefully that'll help him out. Then repair the shoulder on Lydian Loop. Continue to do our snow routes, did them again yesterday for the new ones, and hopefully they'll be trained up. And that's it for the road department. Outside of Highway 52, Keith knows, the judge knows, we're getting really, really close to being completely finished with that project. The surface has been put on, probably 70% of the striping's down. They just need some good weather this week to get the rest of it done, seeding and strawing type stuff. So by the end of this week, hopefully that project's completely done.
On that Keith Knob project, was any of that from the fire or was that just routine?
Just routine stuff. Just dig outs and road failures, and whatnot. So nothing with the fire, no sir.
Joe Valley Road.
What's that one we discussed?
I asked you about.
Yes, sir.
You got it widened, will they make the turn better?
We widened it, now it's up to them to make the turn better.
Does Jeff have the intersection with Pepin's Lane, or is that supposed to be Bellwood?
No, it's on in the back. Because Joe Nally's the one we widened.
But you widen the entrance to,
We widen as far as we can widen.
right, that's what I'm saying, you did what we asked you to do.
Now it's up to the driver to make it work. That is
If you
correct.
can- If you can drive, correct.
I didn't want to say that, but yes, sir. That's it, Judge.
John, landfill,
Quick landfill expansion update. So the big milestone that I was pushing for before winter weather was getting the liner down. We got that done last week and installed, and the state came and inspected it, so we're good with that. So now just all the secondary stuff, putting the gravel for the drainage layer, finish the force main in, finish culverts, finish our detention pond, stuff like that. So that's good winter work to get that wrapped up. So we're hoping to get 2 acres of the landfill fully completed with the drainage layer by towards the end of December, and it'll take 2, 3, 4 weeks to get our final QA/QC plan approved by the state to get the final go-ahead to put garbage in it. So it's looking good. Everything's on schedule so far. We have our truck bids, our garbage truck and roll-off truck bids Friday, so we'll bring that, what kind of pricing we get from that, bring that to court next time. And then our Christmas holiday schedule, we will be closed Saturday the 23rd and Monday the 25th. And then the following Monday will be closed January 1st. So just like typical, we'll be a day behind with garbage those 2 weeks.
So everybody's garbage gets pushed today. Make sure, we do this every year, get it out early. We will be running extra trucks. And if you don't get it out early, it'll be the following week before we get back to you. It is a lot during those 2 weeks, a lot.
Christmas is on what day?
Christmas is on Monday. So we'll be off Monday. And then it'll be a day behind the rest of the
We'll
week.
be closed Saturday,
We'll be closed Saturday.
it's usually open half day.
We're normally open half day, and our guys don't hardly ever get 3 days off in a row, so we're gonna take advantage of the way the holiday schedule is and give you guys 3 days off. But that's all I had.
Any questions for Brad or John? On the next one, on the engineer side, we got anything on that side?
Not at this point that I think we're ready to submit anything, Tim.
Jeff, here on the telephone system, internet system.
And Jeff and I had a meeting last week with one of the vendors. They clarified some things. We, a little bit of a price adjustment. Basically, we're at the point with 3 vendors. Monthly cost is roughly the same. Upfront costs going to vary significantly. So we get a user-friendly, or we get a cheap, or we get a good. We only get to pick 2 of those. So, I'm comfortable.
If you want user-friendly.
That's what I was getting ready. User-friendly. So, Brad and I think they're up to speed. I talked to John a little bit about it with Justin, and somebody just needs to make a decision, and we can start moving forward. But that's,
When you get ready to,
I know what I would do, but I'm not going to be the guy you call when something goes wrong.
well, I need 5 minutes after this meeting to talk to you about that.
All right.
We'll kind of decide, and then we'll bring them back and go from there. Let everybody decide on 2 minutes.
You've never had a 5-minute meeting in your life.
Maybe 6.
But that's all it is. That's where we're at. I think we've got internet connections in enough buildings to keep us busy for a while. We're holding off on Jeanette for the time being because we don't know what we're going to break that belongs to her. And,
You can do anything at her place, you need to do it the week you shut down. Right?
28th will be shut down for motor vehicles and remind everybody that also.
you talking about this year? How about next year's shutdown?
Well, we're supposed to be rolled out to open January the 9th if everything goes smoothly, but
We don't have a real
we
good
will
grasp.
be there if you need to come into our office.
We don't have a very good grasp of your network, and we know you tie into the state. We don't want to break something.
Well, just to give you an update, so Justin's got his up and going at the jail, his fiber connection, they've been operating on that.
He's stepped out for a while.
He's been operating on it for several weeks. We actually have the one here in the old courthouse up. We checked it yesterday, actually, and found out we've got it up to speed, but we have some internal wiring problems that we're trying to deal with. So once we get that done, then we'll have it here. So we're trying to roll it out a little bit at a time, just to make sure that we don't have other things like internal wiring or you know, just any little thing that we're not, that we haven't thought about. I think we're close enough now that we understand how the pricing works and how to narrow it down to get exactly what we need for the number of people that we have, and I think we'll have that ready to propose to you, Judge, you know, hopefully this end of this week. And then we can bring it to court maybe next meeting. That would be our goal.
That's all I have.
Anybody got any questions for Jim? County Clerk, you got a report today?
I do. I give you guys paperwork for a budget amendment. It's got pretty much a self-explanatory note on the top of it. It's just that we collected more than anticipated with the motor vehicle department, but less in the real estate department. So just overall, it'll probably be an increase on our turnover money of probably a little bit over $40,000 is what we budgeted. I just need you to approve this amendment.
Motion to approve that amendment?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Motion by John and second by Adam.
And also, like, if, forget, your turn.
Any more discussions? Questions for her?
Do you want to tell us something else about it?
Not the amendment.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Any discussions on this? All in favor? Any opposed?
He scares me.
I think we woke him up.
But what is that?
Carries. Go ahead.
And
Yeah.
also on the motor vehicle department being shut down, if the media could help us out again, December the 28th at 4 o'clock is the last day that we will be doing motor vehicle, handicap placards, bolts, liens added to your vehicles. None of that will be available. The state's going to do their first rollout on January the 8th. We volunteered to be the next county to go January 9th. If everything goes good, the clerks had a meeting last week and we asked the K-List department if anything went wrong on January the 8th, could they actually let us all know? And then if they let me know something, I'll get with you guys, so you all be able to help tell your people when you get a call, and media also. So up until then, January 9th, hopefully we'll roll out. And now the clerk's office will be there, the people will be there for the recording department, election filing. We have a filing deadline of January 5th for some offices for next year. So we'll be there other than motor vehicle, boats, handicap stickers, anything on motor vehicle we can't do.
So when we get the complaints, we're going to refer them to the state instead of you.
That'd be great. No, we'll be there answering telephone calls.
Yeah.
Well, we just need to
We have
understand,
asked the state to-
most of the time, those rollouts don't go exactly as planned, so
That's
we
what
need to
we
be
need to do.
prepared for the fact that it might take a little bit
How many
longer.
counties have gone before us?
None.
None.
January 8th, they're supposed to do a rollout, just as
Got it, okay, so-
We're the first, as in 29 other counties, they're doing 30 counties a day. We volunteered to be the first day.
First wave, okay.
And it's been 45 years
45
since they updated this system, and they've had and she could tell you how many times they're shut down because the
It's
state's
embarrassing.
network is down a lot. And
So this will work, with reports
least
will be
you're trying to-
easier,
yeah.
everything will be good once we get it in place. Thank
it's
you,
like,
guys.
it's like building a roundabout or anything, it takes time, you know, you try to get updated. The Raymond Sheriff's report.
Last week I emailed you guys a copy of the proposed budget for 2024. Self-explanatory, we took out 2 vehicles last year. We're adding the vehicles back on. Everything pretty much stayed the same. I emailed it to the judge. He had a couple questions. I explained that we cleaned up a few line items because they were kind of flip-flopped. So we lined those back out, and pretty much everything's the same as last year except adding vehicles.
It's showing commission on line 13, the commissions should be up. Anticipated $230,000. And that's just with growth and, I guess, some inflation, but that's basically where the numbers are coming from. I mean, I think if you look at it all. Anybody any questions for Raymond? The reason we need to approve this is so he can get his state advancement. They charge interest on that state advancement. The state advances, explain that to the public, everybody knows that.
So January 1st, the sheriff's office starts with $0. So basically, we don't have any money to pay the employees, the staff, or anything. So I apply for a $600,000 loan through the state at 0% interest, and I pay it at the end of the year. It's already been paid, and if you don't pay it, you won't get it the following year. So we've been in compliance with the state, paying the loan every year that I've been the sheriff and previous as well. And that's what keeps the sheriff's office running on my side, on our budget. Fiscal Court pays the deputies that are on Fiscal Court side for the sheriff's office.
That's just a cash flow, that's a tradition, or just something that's been going on for many, many years, so just let everybody know why and how they do it, and the reason why they do it, so. It's not a loan, but he has to borrow money to operate, and like a debt service, it's just a loan for cash flow, because some people do ask that question, they've asked me before.
But they don't let you hold money over, or, so I'm assuming you turn excess over.
Excess fees.
So they don't let you hold on to anything for an operating funds until that comes.
So probably next fiscal quarter or in January, we'll turn over excess fees and keep about $5,000 in the account to pay any bills that are delinquent. Really, we can turn it and close out the account, and Rhonda would have to be in charge of paying those bills out because excess fees are being paid, any bills that are delinquent. We just keep about $5,000 and we pay it, and then we turn over whatever's left over, back over to the court.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the sheriff's budget by Adam. Second. Second by John. Any more discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Raymond.
Secondary judge, I need another motion on the annual order setting of the maximum amount for deputies and assistants. Basically, that is in the line items of salaries. You add up the full-time salaries, wages, overtime wages, part-time salaries, vacation, sick time, and health insurance, and that amount is $1.4 million, $11. And it's all in the budget that you just approved.
You got to do this separately into this budget.
Correct.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the annual order for setting the maximum amount of deputies and assistants as presented.
Motion by Jeff.
Second.
Second by MT. More discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Sheriff.
The last thing that I got is I received a phone call from Conway Heaton from the vehicles that we ordered last year. He didn't think that they would be in, but they're going to be in probably next month. I would ask Fiscal Court to pay for those vehicles for 2024. They'll be 6 months early, but just like anything else, law enforcement's looking for vehicles. Once that we say we're not going to buy them until December, he's going to sell them. Just food for thought. If it can be paid early for 2024, I would suggest we do it. If not, we don't know when we would.
The two that were on there, like $45,600?
I don't know what the prices are going to be.
That's not the same two?
No.
Numbers Chevrolet.
God, that was the one his budget separate from these.
Yes, correct.
Your projection for next year.
Correct.
Now, the supply has gotten a little bit better, but it's still not good.
No, it's still tight.
Yeah, it has, but we'll talk about that and address that.
When does that need to be decided?
He's calling me and letting me know that they have been shipped to Conway's. They're not arrived yet. They're in transit, but he didn't even think that they would be built. What they were going to do was carry over the order that we had done previously, and he was hoping that they would be in late 24, early 25. So that's why I would be asking Fiscal Court to pay for those vehicles. If it don't, it is what it is.
Well, do you need the vehicles?
We always need vehicles, Keith.
Well, I mean, everybody needs a vehicle. I'd say everybody in this room.
We need
vehicle.
trucks at the landfill. That's the easy question is yes. So I would say yes.
And they're in the budget for the 24 budget.
24. We skipped last year's vehicles because of the pay rates that the deputies
They're
got.
not in the budget.
They're not.
No.
They're not in the budget.
Not yet. We're anticipating.
They're gonna be in the budget for 24.
Okay, that's July.
Correct. That's why I'm being upfront with you.
Yeah.
Right, they're not in the budget yet, but we're anticipating, because last year we didn't buy any. Right. On either side, and this year we figured we're going to have something, we have to see the miles. So, yeah, can you send me an email reference and all that?
Yes, sir.
And I'll have it in writing, and that way we can discuss.
But I think we would need to take advantage of the fact that we can get vehicles because we've been through a year or so where you couldn't.
That's why
now we've got an opportunity, yeah.
That is the reason why I asked about the Chevrolets, because they were 45,000. Next year's budget, they're gonna be 55,000.
Yeah.
Do we know the price of the Fords?
He did not have a price when I received the phone call.
All right, we'll discuss it.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Daniil, you have a report today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I don't have very much. I received a letter the other day saying that we were awarded a small grant of $400 to help with some supplies, maybe some uniforms that we have for the office. So that leaves everything for the basics for the office completed, except for the vehicles. So we just need to put that back on the plate to talk about.
Put that back on the plate.
All right. That's all I have, thanks.
When we do our budget, we'll start on that, around what, January, February, start looking into it that way. So everybody can start thinking about that time, see if we got any cash flow. Chip and Kay, you have a report?
No report, Judge.
Magistrate's report, Keith.
I've just had a couple calls on some, our insurance. Supposedly January 1, Baptist Health is not going to accept our insurance anymore. You heard anything of this?
It's not just our insurance, it's Baptist Health was in contract negotiations with United Healthcare, UMR, and it's statewide. It's a big deal. It's been all over the news. I'm sure everybody's seen it.
Yeah, it was at the conference last week too.
United Healthcare, and I think they're even Humana. They're talking about, they've been having, so those three have been in not good negotiations. Because we didn't know that when we voted on this plan, you know. So we don't know how it's going to work out. We have had some calls and contacts, but
Can you do some checking into it maybe by the next court meeting? Maybe?
Carol's already reached out, and she's talked to, what's his name, Ashley and the other gentleman, and I think they told us that it's not over yet. They were still in, they're still in negotiations, so hopefully it gets worked out.
Yeah, you remember them two guys when they stood right there, you know, they said it wasn't gonna be no problem with what we already had, and now we got a problem. Is it them?
Well, it could have been anybody. No, it's not them.
It's not them?
Let's say if Blue Cross, let's say if we accepted Blue Cross or voted on Blue Cross, I mean, they could be in contract negotiations, the same thing. That happened after what we did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, what we said that day, we met with them was make sure we had offered everybody the best they could get at a better rate or a cheaper rate without going up. But if we stayed with Blue Cross at that time, it was up, I think each average for each family was $361 more, which is about $4,000 a year. It would have cost either us or the employees. I don't think the county could have absorbed all that. So that's why we went self-insured and saved everything we did. We gave them more options. We haven't had but about, I'm going to say less than half a dozen that's had actual individual, and we've addressed. There is a couple of doctors that has not locally that accepted it. Most of it's been technical errors and paperwork. Now this one's a big one. You know, Baptist doesn't accept it, and we'll have to, you know, it's basically up to them. It's not up to us. But if that happens, then we'll have to decide what route we want to go. And that's going to affect, I don't know how many thousands or hundreds of thousands of people in the state of Kentucky.
But to be clear, it's been a problem with Humana. It's not just with the company that we go through. It's several companies that have had issues that they're.
It's a money thing. I mean, they try to, you know, they want a better negotiated rate, and I get it. You know, it's a business decision on both sides, so they're trying to work it out. But for sure, it would have cost the county or the employees about $4,000 more a year on average if we stayed with Blue Cross. That's one reason we did what we did.
You're talking about per employee, not.
Yes. Yeah. Our families and employees, it was an average, but you know, if it's singles or families or something. And we had all that stuff in that report when we did it back in June or July or whatever it was. So. But yeah, that's a good question, and let them know they can call up here, talk to the office, and any employees that has an issue still today, they need to contact Carol and they can get them in with that. Because most of the, so far is that one little group that they've got under that insurance, they call them and they've got it worked out pretty good. Because most of it's either a chain of paperwork or a miscommunication.
Judge, when's that deadline that they're trying to meet on this negotiations?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's
an ongoing negotiation.
It's a bigger deal than just, it's not just us. You know, it's a total.
I think somebody had on Facebook that it was going to be first 24. That Baptist Health is not going to accept our insurance.
If they don't reach you, if they don't reach you.
What day was it?
First, January 1.
Keith, somebody explained it to me a little easier to understand. It's kind of like if you have satellite TV and every now and then they'll tell you Channel 11 is going to go away if they don't come to an agreement by so-and-so date. That's what this is. They're battling with multiple insurance companies across multiple platforms, and it is a business decision, and they're both waging public relations wars against one another to try to gain an advantage, and we're caught in the middle. So they'll figure all that out. We don't know when that's going to be. I think that Humana was supposed to be the end of January in 2024, so they may run it right up to New Year's Eve and come to an agreement.
Well, you can understand a lot of people's concerns. I mean, there's a lot of people who've got issues, and I mean,
if you take Humana and UMR off the table for a lot of these hospitals, that's a lot of people in any county.
Not just us, all the companies around the county, it's a big deal. So we'll stay in touch with it.
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Adam?
No report.
Jeff? No report. John?
Are you going to talk about the internet list? Are y'all still working on that? I'm still getting a couple calls from people that are waiting on.
I'll bring it up in my report.
Okay. That's all. MT?
I just wanted to invite everybody to the Boston Parade if they're available. It's Saturday at 5 p.m. I think the kicks off around 3 or so, lining up, and the parade will start around 5. But also wanted to thank Brad for the quick response on a couple issues we had this past week. That's it.
Thank you. What John was talking about, we had me, Brad, and John, and Brad had about a 4 or 5 hour meeting Friday. 6. 6, and we're trying to get, well, we've got the people that's requested water, we talked about this a few months ago, on county roads and private roads, and internet, county roads and private roads. We've got roughly $2,200,000 left in ARPA funds that we've got to come up with a plan on it pretty soon, or we could turn around in time to get them awarded and contracted, and so by December of next year, if it's not used, either pretty much use it or lose it.
Obligated.
Yeah,
We have to have it obligated by December 31 of 24.
of 24
We have until
Yeah.
December 31 of 26.
to use it, right.
But the obligation right now is what we're looking at.
So we got a plan together that I've been working on, and I wasn't feeling good there for a couple of months, and I've got about 20 people probably wearing me out, maybe more than that, about internet and water, and I just told them, put them on hold, because I wasn't gonna make any decisions till I got my mind around it good, and it's basically a global, under the umbrella, it's a global thing. You know, we discussed some subdivision regulations a few months ago about some roads, the width and the depth and all that. We've discussed private roads. Right now, you can do 3 tracks on a private road and 5 if you got frontage on a main road. I don't want to just Band-Aid it, I guess you'd say. And I think we could Band-Aid it and just finish what we're doing, but I think long-term it's going to affect the court. Private roads, for example, they don't run water, they don't run electric, and they don't run internet back there. So if we fix everything today that's done behind us and get everybody the services, it's going to be a continuous battle forward, because they're going to keep coming after us and whatnot, the county to provide it. And then there may not be any funds or federal funds or ARPA funds or whatever. So I'm trying to fix it all together, because I don't want to Band-Aid each one, because I think it's not fair for the entire community. So we had a really good, we've studied this thing, studied it. And we'll have a good plan. We'll probably meet at the end of this week again. And I don't know where all the master's going to be at. We've got to sit down and go over this stuff, because it's very complicated, a whole lot of detail. And I think we're getting really close to having a proposal to send to you. And I think you'll like it, and I think it's fair for everybody, the taxpayers, and providing services. So when we get to that level, we'll bring it to you, and then eventually we just have to come in and vote on it and see. But I think it's going to be fair. But I want everybody's input before we do. I want everybody to look at it, and I'm going to send it to you, and you'll discuss it, and see what you think. And
Or the word on the street is Barstown's thinking about selling their internet?
yeah, they made that's public. Everybody voted on it. Yeah. They,
You have any idea who they sold to? Was it a local or a national?
I've heard different rumors, so I'm not going to say, because I really don't know, but they're going to sell it eventually, I think. Pretty sure. We've contacted their office, and they've agreed, Brad, you correct me if I'm wrong, that they've agreed to everything that we have had in agreement so far to provide so many miles or feet that we've been working on these plans. They're basically going to continue that until they get their deal done. And they should, and I'm sure whoever they work with, they're going to put some stipulations in there, I would think. And I don't think they want to cut the legs out from anybody, I wouldn't think, so. But that plan is, well, when you get it, it's, I think it's going to be good. We've got to move forward on it, and I'll definitely have it ready. Well, I'll say definitely, because I'm pretty confident I'll have it ready for you, maybe toward the end of the week. Get it to you, then y'all can study it, and we'll have some communication on it, and I want everybody to agree or disagree or whatever, unless we fix the issues that we need to fix. These are, these are the motions, and they had a whole lot of planning, zoning, I think there was 10 on the docket last week. And anybody wants to review those for public record, there's all the details of that. I want to ask the magistrates, and Brad, I forget to ask you this, because we brought up streetlights the other day. I know you had a couple Keith wanted to do, and the one I told you to look at. But what I need to do is, I want a list of all places where we have a streetlight that the county is providing that service.
Where we do or where we don't?
Where we have them and where we don't have them. And where we got them at now, because just like that one I was telling you about, there was a light across the road, but it was out. So there's a lot of streetlights, and until the public tells us, because it gets dark early this time of year, so what I will do is get Brad to get each one of y'all a list of where we do have them, and y'all can ride around right when you ain't doing nothing, make sure it's working.
So I found most people aren't very shy about telling us.
Yeah, but they don't know who to call. They're calling different ones, and I've had that happen over the years. And at least I just said, Jim, y'all can put that out there. I want people to call my office or call my office would be better. If you see a street light that's out, because it is a very, we started that thing years ago, but it's been a very good program, and we still have some more to put up over the years that I'd like to see put up because it's a safety thing, and it just makes a world of difference when you're driving. I don't know how y'all feel about it. It does me.
So for the public to understand though, previously, we do not go inside subdivisions with streetlights. That is the responsibility of an HOA or the subdivision itself. I live in one of those myself. Our HOA takes care of it. What has previously been done is when a road comes out on a state road, that's where it's needed. You know, you're going 55, 60 miles an hour down a road, all of a sudden, boom, you're on top of a county road. It's important to light those intersections. It's a great program. There are some exceptions to that. Plum Run, Murray's Run, you know, where you have a higher traveled road, there may need to be a light there. But most times, if it's a county road intersecting another county road,
yeah, we've got but there is several state roads that intersect state roads that we've done.
Correct.
And we'll continue to do those. That's part of our policy, and it's just a safety thing. When we started this thing years ago, 25 years ago, at that time we did 5, and I think I don't know what policy really states. We would do 5 per year.
Per
district as they recommended them, because we didn't have a ton of money just to do it. And then the magistrates would pick the roads. And then the developers on the subdivisions, that's in the order also, that when they built a new street, they had to put a street light up front. And they actually, I forget the policy, they pay so much money a year too. I don't think they're doing that.
no, once they put it up and we take over the road, then it becomes our responsibility.
Once we take the road over, yeah.
That's correct.
Because that was redone a little bit. But anyway, it's a safety thing, and I'd like to have the media make sure anybody sees any that's out, contact our office, and then Brad will get the list of y'all, and y'all can go out and see them. Because there is some places that still need them, I know. Probably not more than I know. Let's see, what else I've got? We got a letter yesterday from Rhonda, or an email, and Jan Johnson is going to retire February the 29th. So I'll be in communication with the zoning board, and I guess we'll be advertising, let everybody know that we'll be hiring a new director. Of course, you got KRS 100, and then there's a whole lot of different stipulations with local, state, and all that. So I got this letter, official letter. She'll be retiring February the 29th. Now, I don't know if they made any public announcements, and I haven't really talked to anybody since I got this. But since we're having our meeting, I want to go ahead and let everybody know that. If I get the cart full of horse, I apologize, but
Haven't heard of that.
what it is what it is. And anyway, that's all I got on that subject. Anybody else got anything before the court here you want to talk about? We need to go into executive session.
Motion to adjourn into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session by Adam. Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Brad Spalding.
All right, motion carries.
Got 2 things for you, please.
Just for the public to know, y'all, if y'all want to hang out and talk about anything for about 3 or 4 minutes, we won't be no more than 5 minutes, I don't think at all. But we gotta leave the room for 3 or 4 minutes.
Recording stopped.
Need a motion to go out of executive session, back in regular session.
So made.
Second John, second by Jeff, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by MT, second by Adam, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're adjourned.